Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Robotics Notes Elite. In the last episode, everyone managed to get back to Tanegashima Island relatively safely after Irie was saved by none other than Taro the Parakeet. That being said, the return trip to Tanegashima didn't go off entirely without a hitch. Sadly, the landing gear mechanism was faulty, meaning Shigami had to perform drastic maneuvers in order to bring us straight to the old Tanegashima airport, where Gunbuild 1 is currently being housed and stored. Everyone else, meanwhile, has sheltered at the high school, since Misaki's team infiltrated and took over the JAXA Center. And now, once again, time is of the essence, because we need to, as unthinkable as it sounds, we need to upgrade Gunbuild 1 to try and deal with the likes of Kaminagi and Sumeragi. Otherwise, we're not going to stand a chance at all. Now granted, given Gunbuild 1's shoddy design, that is a very, very tall stretch indeed. However, we do have means and ways of actually, having a chance.
ドク、どれか用意は
できるわけねえだろうが。いくらすると思ってんだ。
Yeah, Doc only manufactures robots, not weapons.
だよね。
Yeah, so as much as we would love to have that technology to be able to countermeasure against Sumeragi, let alone Kaminagi, yeah, luxuries we cannot afford.
機体性能差は絶望的だね。
Indeed. Gunbuild 1 was just a decoration for show at the Tokyo Expo. At least that was the intention. Yeah, the skill gap is pretty vast in this situation. Yeah, it would be nice to have those things, but without them, yeah, there's very little we can do. Yeah, and we can't exactly borrow an HUG prototype from Exoskeleton. There's only so much Sawada can actually help us out.
なんとか勝てる方法を考えよう。
We have to come up with something, because if not, we might as well, even though that's not an option either.
その方法が浮かばなかったら
Giving up isn't an option, but then again, our backs are truly up against the wall.
浮かばなかったら、それは。
It's painful to think about.
戦うのを諦める。目の前でロケットが打ち上がるの見てる。
そんなこと。
No, we can't.
できないよね。
We've already come this far.
決めてよ、アキちゃん。勝てる見込みがなくても VAB からロケットが移動を開始したら即座に1号機を出して勝負を挑むって。
So Kaito's gonna challenge them no matter what.
ヤシオ先輩が無駄死にするだけです。 僕はその考え方は反対です。
それでもやるしかないわけだからさ。
Yeah, as I said before, kamikaze attacks something we want to try and avoid at all costs, but then again,
わかった。勝てる見込みがなくても時間が来たら出撃する。でもだからって回を無駄死にさせたりしない。ギリギリまで勝つ方法を模索していく。
we can but try.
絶対にだよ。
Yeah. You thought that going up against the cheap CPU AI in Kill Ballad was tough, Kaito. We're going up against a Mega Ultra Super Boss this time around. Akio looks me straight in the eyes and makes her declaration. I force out a smile and nod. It's a satisfying answer, especially from Akio, given the situation.
改めてお願い。みんなの力を貸して。正義のロボはきっと勝つの。
Should things work out in that fashion, Akio?
そのために勝つ方法を教えてほしい。よろしくね。
And then again, this really is playing out like a mecha anime with our robots. Yeah. Dangerously outmatched by theirs. Everyone present nods and the strategy meeting comes to an end. Due to his leg injury, Subaru can't participate in assembly work. Instead, he's working on improving Model 1, which is all that he can do at this point. Frau is on programming duty, so she can't help either. Which means there are only 4 people on the motor exchange team: me, Akio, Juna, and Doc. Wait, that reminds me, where in the world did Dad and the Nagafukatas disappear to? Who knows? We could really use their help right about now. Shigumi is a pilot, not a robot worker, and as for the Nagafukatas, Sumio's resources can only go so far, and Michi is as useless as ever. I gaze out the window. It's starting to get brighter outside. It's still raining and the sky is concealed by clouds. That's not going to last when the day dawns. Dawn is approaching. And once that weather is clear, they'll be able to launch that rocket. If they succeed, it truly will be game over. Even after dawn, the rain shows no signs of letting up. That is our only saving grace at the moment. Because as long as the weather is obstructed, they can't launch the black hole bomb. But meanwhile, Akio has something to say on Twippo. Things we can do. Things that only we can do. That's what we're doing. Not yet. This won't end yet. Yeah. Until the last move is played. Looks like my workmanship is going to be needed. But will it be enough? Will it be enough? Yeah, my husband, son, and Akio-chan are all safe. Thank you to everybody who was worried. I will never ever get lost. My flying was perfect this time too. Even though we were taking a different route than usual, I promised to come back to the island. This is my home. I promise that no matter what happens. Well, you fulfilled that promise, Shigami. Even if it was even if the landing wasn't perfect, your flying definitely was. Rather than that, can you buy as many radish and taro as you can at B-Coop? Yeah. Yeah, goodness gracious, I spoil you far too much, my lovely wife. Regardless, copy that. Can't just be scared and evacuate, gotta learn from my husband and kids. Nothing more from list C, and radio silence from list D. But even so, we still have the dilemma of Gunbuild 1 being woefully inferior to Sumeragi. We've seen what happened to Gunbuild 2. Yeah, you can hardly call this metal armor at all. I know that it's technically protecting us, but it also forces us to work in this cramped hangar. Can't even do field testing.
Alright! Alright!
Doc's doing all he can. We support the servo motor hanging from the crane and carefully inserted into Model 1's joint. Unfortunately, things don't go so well and we're forced to have the crane come and go over and over again. The servo motor finally settles in position and we have to act fast to secure it. We use several thick bolts and electric net runners, but Model 1's legs are incredibly thick. The joints require multiple large screws, bolts. That's what connects it all together. I think we're fine as far as mobility is concerned, but that's not our main problem. To exchange a motor, the bolts need to be removed first, followed by all the leg parts. Specifically everything below the ankles, the shins, the thighs, 6 parts in total across both legs. Each part is nearly 2 meters tall while lying down and over 3 meters long. Quite large. They're secured to the crane attached to the truck Doc arrived in. The crane then lifts up the boltless parts. The motors are also pretty big, way bigger than the engine inside the car. We have to be careful about our work, but we also can't waste too much time. With that in mind, having a crane makes a huge difference, as opposed to lugging everything around by hand. We could never get this done on our own. I guess too large and too heavy. That said, of all the people here, Juno and I aren't particularly useful. Not this time around. Which is why things have been pretty slow. And unfortunately we don't have the luxury of having any more staff on hand either. Not without drawing attention. It's also frustrating that no other work can be done until the motor exchange is complete. This is the first time I've actually regretted not helping out earlier. Once it's assembled, Kaito, piloting is your job. If I'm the one piloting this thing, I should be the one making sure it's in tip-top shape. Hopefully things won't be too bad as before. I'm trusting this thing with my life after all. The only reason he's even agreeing to pilot personally is because, well, the one piloting Kaminagi and Sumeragi will obviously be Misaki Tsunomiya, and Kaito wants to fight her on an equal footing if he can, even though the footing isn't quite so equal. I can't win without it. I knew I'd have to mess with the settings a bit, but up until now I'd always thought that all I needed to win was my own ability. Now I know better. If I'm gonna be the best, it's important I pay attention to the maintenance of the robot too. Yeah, you said it yourself many times, Kaito, that stats in fighting games actually do matter more than you realize. And it's still going very
ク
frustratingly.
レーンがもう一台あればいいのに。
Juno and I concentrate on tightening the screws. Kind of feels like when the pit crew in the race or something.
これでいくつ終わった？ 5つ。残り1つだよ。頑張ろう。
Well, at least we got one left. It already took over 5 hours to get this far. Ouch. Just like Subaru said, this will probably take the full 6 hours. And we're not done after that. There's still lots of work remaining. Oh dear. I pulled an all-nighter, so this is getting pretty rough. We're gonna be at a huge disadvantage, it seems. I might not be in the best condition for tomorrow's. Akio's foot gets caught on a cord of all the times. She falls over, taking the parts and metal plates in the area with her.
アキちゃん、大丈夫？
Yeah, we should really see if she's alright.
平気。
たるんでんじゃねえ。気合い入れろ。
ごめんなさい。
Wow, it's been a while since I've seen Doc bark like that.
アキちゃん、疲れてるんじゃない？寝てないでしょ。
We don't have time for rest,
あんまり
unfortunately.
無理するとまた発作が出るから休んだ方がいいよ。
The same is true of yourself, Kaito. Because the both of you suffer those strange, mysterious seizures.
それはカイだって同じでしょ。
That being said, we still don't fully understand the metaphysics behind why only Kaito and Akio have the unique attacks that they do. Why everything speeds up for Akio and why everything slows down for Kaito. A unique phenomena that might never fully be explained or understood.
休んでなんかいられないよ。うちらがやらなくちゃ誰がやるっていうの？
That is a very excellent question, Akio. The only ones who can do this are ourselves.
でも
これは一体どういうことですか？
Well. The last person that we ever expected to hear from. I jump a little. I know that hysterical voice.
あなたたち一体何をやっているのです？
You better pull up a chair, Vice Principal Usui, because this is going to be quite the story.
ゲゲ、教頭先生。
As inconvenient as it is, Usui is the least of our worries right now. Why in the world is she here? This is literally the last thing we need right now.
ロボ部は廃部、そう言ったはずです。
教頭先生、今は緊急事態で。
Yeah, we need to let her know what's going on. Unsensical as it sounds.
緊急だろうと何だろうと、ここを使うのならば、まず私に声をかけるのが筋というものでしょ
But I agree with Kaito. Now is not the time for this.
教頭先生、今日一日だけ見逃してください。細かい話は後で全部説明しますから。
I wonder.
う。いいえ、ダメです。見逃すなど論外ですわ。
このわからず屋の石頭め。
She pays no mind to my language, and instead takes out her Pokecom, fiddling with the screen for a couple of seconds.
あなたたち全員、今すぐここにサインなさい。
She then thrusts her Pokecom towards Akiho.
でなければ、退学処分にしますからね。
You're really putting us through this, Usui. You do realize that in this situation, if we don't do this, yeah, 5 billion people are going to be wiped off the face of the planet, in which case being expelled from a high school is the least of our concerns.
卒業まで数日だろうと関係ありませんよ。
Few days until graduation. We don't have a few days.
勘弁してよ、教頭先生。あんたにそこまでやる権限なんてないって。俺たちはあんたなんかには従わない。
We can't afford to.
もう学校がどうこうって問題じゃないんだ。
Yeah, Usui. It's surprising that Usui has no idea what's going on. You would have thought that she would have heard about the JAXA takeover.
なんか言ったらどうなの？済ましてないでさ。
But now isn't the time to get upset with her either.
待って、カイ。
Akio stops at me as she looks at the VP's Pokecom.
教頭先生、これってどういうこと？
Yeah, that is a very good question.
入部届ってなってますけど。
は？
Say what? Very interesting game you're playing there, Usui.
あなたたちは今、どの部活にも所属していないでしょ？先月、ロボ部は私が廃部にしましたからね。ですから、ロボ部をもう一度復活させるために、全員入部届を書きなさいと言っているのです。
Well, surprise, surprise.
この非常時であっても、手続きはきっちりしなければなりません。 何かあったとき、これはあなた方の責任ではなく、それを許可した学校の責任であると言えなくなってしまいますから。
Usui, little do you realize the truth of those words.
教頭先生。
Wait, what just happened? Even I'm confused. My ears busted? Akio, Juna, Subaru, and myself are all stunned.
教頭先生マジツンデレ。
Not the time, Frau.
いいからさっさと名前と学年、クラスを書きなさい。全員分ですからね。
If you insist.
はい。
この
Seems
教
like a
頭
Faustian bargain,
実はいい人だったのか。
but it's what we got.
ヤシオくん、何か言いましたか？
あ、いいえ。
She shoots me a sharp glare. She really is scary.
教頭先生、お待たせしました。
And surprise, surprise, it's Mitchie. Mitchie suddenly comes running over. Where's our delinquent teacher been this entire time? Wait, it's not just him. Our homeroom teacher, Koba-sen, the other teachers, and even the principal all pop up one after the other. They're all holding supermarket bags in their hands. For what? They're filled with drinks, pastries, rice balls, and more. Food is great, but that's not all we need right now.
長深田先生、一体どこまで買い出しに行っていたんですか？
いや、西の表島で開店時間前に開けてもらうの大変だったんですから。
That's right, and yeah, I've just remembered. Yeah, with Mizuka gone, the only one running the Erie General Store is her mother.
いいから
God damn
生徒
it.
たちに配りなさい。
Yeah, what a time to remember that, but I digress.
それって何？毒でも入ってるの？
何を言っているんですか？どこからどう見ても差し入れに決まっているでしょう。
Why does she have to keep getting so angry? The teachers lay out a blue sheet in the corner of the hangar and start lining up the refreshments they bought.
多いな。
Yeah, and we can't eat it all, because overeating will also be a big impairment.
まさか瀬宮さん、ロボ部の部員だけで独り占めするつもりだったのですか？
It crossed the mind, but
え、
we were
違うん
worried
で
there
す
for a
か？
second. Yeah, we were very worried.
当たり前です。これは志願した生徒たち全員の分なんですよ。
志願って。
So it's not just us.
特別課外授業ってやつだ。これ豆知識な。
You and your pro tips, Mitchie. It's awfully noisy outside the hangar. I hear lots of voices growing closer. Loud voices too. Our teachers aren't the only one soon come. Outside the hangar are nearly 100 students in raincoats, none of whom were ever affiliated with the Robotics Club as far as I'm aware. And yet they're all here.
おーいジュンだ手伝いに来たよ
Juna's friends.
ああ、手伝うのだるいな。でも手伝わないと世界滅びるらしいぜ。
Sounds like doesn't enter into it. The world is going to end if we can't beat Sumeragi with Gunbuild 1.
じゃ、しょうがないか。ロボ部も頑張ってるし、俺らもやるしかないよな。
So one day only the other students of Mature High are gonna help out. All my classmates have made fun of the Robotics Club.
イプスをした日高くんも素敵
And the
日高くん
fangirls.
に名前を覚えてもらうために頑張ろうね
Even some schoolgirls with some impure motives, and that's putting it mildly there, Kaiyashio. So many people, over half the school most likely.
彼らは自主的にあなた方を手伝いたいと志願した生徒たちです。
Well, hopefully some of them are engineers or technicians to some degree, but then again, we can't exactly be picking and choosing. We need all the help we can get.
彼らは彼らなりに今この島で起きていることを受け止め、自分にできることが何かを考えたのでしょう。
They may not know all the details, but they know enough to know that, yeah, they can't just stand by.
みんな
Oh, Akio, you ever think that you would see a day like this? Oh, here it is.
ですから瀬宮さん、中央種子島高校の全教員と志願した有志の生徒は皆ロボ部部長のあなたの指示に従いますわ。
Yeah. Usui knows how to drive a hard bargain indeed. A very hard bargain. That was the noise of a truck. Several large trucks come driving into the airport. Now.
おお、あいつらやっと来やがったか。
Looks like Doc knew something we didn't. Doc looks at the trucks unsurprised.
島中の町工場の連中に号令かけてやった。蒲田やら港やら片っ端にな、それぞれパーツかき集めて集合するよう言っといた。
Very clever of you there, Doc. Then again, all this activity is definitely... Yeah. There's no way it won't draw the attention. But then again, just checking the map. All the way up here at the old Tanegashima airport in Nakatane. There's the Tanegashima Space Center is all the way down here. So we might be able to pull this off unnoticed after all. Forgot how
秋穂ちゃん、手伝うぜ。
big the island actually was, even though it is smaller than mainland Japan.
種子島の機関屋が集まりゃもう怖いものなしだからな。
bold statement there. Familiar guys from the local workshops poke their heads out from the trucks, waving enthusiastically at us.
おっちゃんたち
Yeah, that being said, we still need to be worried about Sumeragi. Old man Kamada was the only guy who ever cooperated with us. The other workshops always kept their distance. And yet, here they all are now, courtesy of Fujita.
毒がどれだけ恐れられてるのかちょっと分かった気がするよ。
うるせえよ。だがクレーンはこれで大型小型合わせて5台になった。
That will certainly make things easier.
もう愚痴は言わせねえぞ、秋穂。待て待て待て。
And Sumio's here as well. Yeah, he wouldn't miss a gathering like this for the world. Mr. Candy appears at the head of a bunch of buff dudes. They come marching in like some kind of mini parade.
西の表の若い連中も連れてきたぞ。あと我が社の社員もの。
Looks like the Space Candy Company is chipping in after
わ
all.
あ出遅れちゃいましたね
And it's Night Noji. Following them are a bunch of JAXA employees in their work uniforms. Isan is in front. Behind her are Harunaka-san, the guy who helped us assemble Model 2. Young and old JAXA engineers come running over with them.
職員の皆さんすごく燃えてるんですよ俺たちの職場である TNSC を占拠するなんて許せない所長を助けるぞって
Well, looks like we're finally on an even footing after all.
だから私たちにも手伝わせてください
Getting help from JAXA engineers alone would be huge for us, but it's not just them. Who else? There are elderly who usually work the fields, housewives, blue-collar men, and even our children all gathered here in the rain.
カイトカイト
It's Mother. Even she's here. Dad is standing next to her. So that's where Shigumi was.
母さん無事だったんだね。
そうなの瀬宮さんとこの玉木さんと一緒にね避難してきたのよ
So they evacuated as well.
これからみんなで炊き出ししてあげるから頑張んなさい
Mother then disappears into the crowd. Dad silently salutes me and follows after her.
あ、父さん。
Even more surprises. Robo himself. Subaru's very confused shout causes me to turn around. The very same man who punched his own son last summer is standing right next to Subaru, a southern look on his face.
無理するなと言ったはずだ。二度とまともに歩けないようになったらどうするつもりだ。
You don't have to worry about that, Romu. Subaru in his current condition isn't going to be doing any heavy lifting anytime soon.
ごめん。
But then again, if Hiromu hadn't seen the incoming invasion with his own two eyes, he might not have believed it.
お前はもう一歩も動くな。代わりに俺がお前の足になって動いてよ。
父さんも手伝ってくれるの？
お前が好きだと言ったものがどれほどのものかこの目で確かめたくなっただけだ。
Looks like he's finally giving you a chance, Subaru.
ありがとう。
I never thought his dad would back down. But it's not just Subaru's old man. VP2. This is more than a little shocking.
ねえカイ、島が一つになってる。
Indeed they are.
こんなにたくさんの人たちがロボ部のために、島のために手伝ってくれてる。
And it's not just Tanegashima. The world itself will be in danger if we fail.
今まで仲が悪かった人たちも良かった人たちも家族も一度も会ったことのない人たちも
Indeed, they all in their myriad ways understand on some level what is at stake here.
みんなが一つの目標に向かってこうして集まってる。
Indeed, ironically, to help you fulfill your dream. Even though the expo is now long behind us at this point. Akio looks like she could start crying at any moment, so I give her a pat on the shoulder.
どうやら俺たち島中の希望になっちゃったみたいだね。
Pretty much.
その期待を裏切らないようにしないと。
Yeah, we need to do everything we can at this point. But then again, help is all well and good, but we need materials. We need all the materials that we can get.
これなら種子島はあと10年は戦える。
いや、そんなに長く戦わなくていいから。
Either way, this final battle is one we can't afford to lose, no matter what. Very well said. Very well said indeed. Cape Karakura, Osaka Sonoya, 8:22 AM. And it's still raining. But that is where this episode of Let's Play Robotics Notes Elite is going to end, and when we return, the final battle will soon be upon us. As always, until next we meet.